What's up, Buccaneers fans? This is Caleb Skinner at CHS Knoll, a writer here for Bucs Game Day, here the Cannons. Initial post-game reaction to the Bucs 37 to, what was it, River? 14 or 2021?
20. 20.
20.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they went for two and didn't get it. But great stuff from the Buccaneers week one. Love seeing it. Great start. There's a lot going on. Ultimately, Bucs Game Day, we've got you covered all the way around. Be sure to shoot us a like, subscribe with us here on YouTube. If you're not already on YouTube, head over to YouTube, give us a like, subscribe to us. You'll get notified every time that we go live. We've got tons of content coming out, post game content, practice content as well. Head over to BucsGameday.com and you'll be able to check out all of our articles as well. Obviously, you can see myself out here with our editor in chief, River Wells. River, just your initial reactions on the game tonight. What'd you like? What you didn't like?
Really big win for the Buccaneers. I think they definitely needed to come out strong like this, and they did. So that's very important. Offense was firing under Liam Cohen, the passing game specifically. 4 touchdowns from Baker, almost a perfect game for him. Absolutely crazy for him to go do that. I think the run game still needs a little bit of work here. We saw some encouraging stuff from Bucky Irving and Rashad White, but it needs to be more consistent for sure. And once they can get that done, that'll be huge. So hopefully they can improve that, Detroit, and that's going to be a big emphasis. Pass rush needs to be a little bit better on the defensive side of the ball. Need to get more pressure there. No Kalijah Cansey, no Logan Hall. Remember that. But outside of that, backup corners played some really good football. Were able to stop the Commanders as much as they needed to get the big win. So overall, I think a pretty damn good game.
Yeah, it went well. Much better. I thought it was going to be a little bit closer than the final results ended up happening, but overall it looked really good. You touched on a few different things, but I want to get your thoughts on some of these things. We saw some of these players kind of start making plays. Rookie Jalen McMillan's first catch of his career in the NFL goes for a touchdown, which is awesome to see. You got to see Servassier Dennis come out here, make plays probably for the first time that we've seen him, make actual plays in a
Absolutely.
game that matters. So great to see. But I think the biggest news overall tonight, River, is what is going on in the Buccaneers secondary. We saw Zion McCollum go down with a concussion early, and then they were without a couple of backups as well, with Josh Hayes going down. And then Bryce Hall, obviously having to get the air cast and be carted off the field. So, are you really over that? It looks like we're going to kind of see undrafted free agent Tyreek Thunderberg, who made the roster. So it'll be interesting to see what goes from there. But is that something to be pretty concerned about if you're the Buccaneers?
Yes. It definitely is. Having Zion go down, having Josh Hayes been an ankle injury, Bryce Hall obviously another ankle injury in the air cast. The depth was already very thin at this position going into this season, and now it's much, 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 much thinner. Zion might not be able to come back for week 2 against the Lions with a concussion, assuming he can get out of protocol or not. That leaves you with guys like Christian Izien playing corner when he's only played nickel and safety. Now they did really good at this game. But they also played a rookie quarterback. Jared Goff is not that. So neither is the seasoned Detroit Lions offense. So definitely going to be a big point of contention.
Yeah, and needless to say, the Lions are no joke when it comes to their offense and what they're able to do on the offensive side of the ball. Excuse me. So it'll be interesting to see what direction the Tampa Bay Buccaneers go for that. Guys, if you are listening on YouTube, be sure to drop any comments, any questions that you have for us here following the game. A lot of stuff went on, a lot of good stuff to like. You had mentioned this earlier, River, about Baker Mayfield, almost another perfect game. He was able to do that last year in Lambeau against the Green Bay Packers. Almost did it again today, only incompleting 6 passes the entire night for just under 300 yards with 4 touchdowns to go with it, with 2 of those going to Mike Evans. What did you love about what Baker and the Bucs offense was able to do tonight?
Aside from the run game, mostly everything. Baker balled out, got out of sacks whenever he needed to because the interior line was still a little bit shaky there. He was on the money with most of his throws. Started out a little bit wild, but then he really locked in, dialed in, got some throws in. So those throws to Mike Evans, both of them, that first touchdown, the second one, which happened right over here, actually. He really dropped that ball in the breadbasket for Mike on that second touchdown. Got it right where he needed to in the first one to allow Mike to make a play. And, of course, that Jalen Millen touchdown, which I believe was also right here. Um, right down the seam here, and perfect deep ball, which he struggled with a little bit. So, huge game for Baker. He baked. And they're going to want to see some more of that going forward. So, big stuff for Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, absolutely. And touching on that running game, we'll stick here on the opposite side of the ball. It's something that we have, you know, beat over and over and over again about the running game and the offensive line being able to improve and help in that area of the offense for the Buccaneers. Was there anything specific that you were seeing that Liam Cohen was perhaps doing to be able to create more space, or is this just an improved offensive line against a pretty strong defensive front, probably one of the better defensive fronts in the NFL when it comes to starting, caliber type of players? Was there anything specific that Liam was doing, or was this more so that the Buccaneers are starting to kind of find their groove and where they need to be in the run game?
I think Liam really did a great job of opening up space, like you mentioned, both in motion and out of motion. Was able to get those passing lanes developed for Baker to hit guys like McMillan wide open. Schemed him open a few times actually, which is some great stuff. And then the running game, a lot of zone stuff that maybe they need to look at varying a little bit. But if they can do that going forward, I think they'll have a pretty strong, improved game because Bucky Irving is able to find those holes for Shab White occasionally as well, not nearly as much. But it looked a little encouraging, especially towards the end there. Still a lot of work to go in the run game, though. It does not look perfect by any means.
Yeah, absolutely. And we saw improvements, right? But there's still a long ways to go when it comes to that. They didn't necessarily need all of it tonight, but being able to run the ball there late in the game, tick that clock down and keep it moving, it is definitely a big aspect of the game, period. But being able to do it is just huge for the way that this Buccaneers team wants to move forward. So great to see. And then Chris Godwin, we got to speak with him a little bit. Got his first touchdown of the season when he only scored 4 last year. He looks very, very comfortable being back there in the slot.
He absolutely does. Talking about that with him after the game, we talked about how Mike Evans said he was 2019 Chris Godwin, but no, it's 2024 Chris Godwin this year, which is fun. But he looks exactly comfortable in the slot, and he looks really good in that role that Cooper Kupp has in the Los Angeles Rams offense. And that's exactly what Liam Cohen is doing and bringing Chris Godwin into that role, and he's cooking. Big first down machine, great touchdown over there on the opposite side of the field. Fantastic stuff from him. Looks just like he kind of did a few years ago, but he really thrives in this role, and Liam
Hey,
Cohen is allowing him to cook.
what's up, fellas?
Hello
What's up,
there.
JC?
Great win tonight by the Buccaneers, huh?
Absolutely.
Yeah, just talking about Godwin being back in the slot and how comfortable he's looking. Anything that you saw particularly, and just overall the offense before we switch over to the defense after that?
Yeah, I think Godwin, just as we predicted, right? We talked about this. Him going back into the slot, being in that Cooper Cup type role. You saw it. He had 8 receptions. 7 of them went for first down. And 7 went for first down, and he got a touchdown as well. So, he just continues to be a guy that is reliable, is a safety valve and safety blanket for Godwin, and just continues to be a player that they can rely on. I thought the dynamic duo of Bucky Irving and Rashad White is going to be a pivotal part of this offense going forward. I definitely know Rashad wishes he could have some of those plays back. But I think he turned out a really solid performance on the ground and I mean through the air, and then I mean Bucky, he kind of took over that backfield, had Ray J chanting Bucky, Bucky, and I think the Thunder Lightning duo, the two of them together, are going to be a dynamic duo for this Buccaneers offense. And then Mike Evans is going to do Mike Evans things, and he did it again today. I thought the line was a little shaky here and there. I thought there was some good recovery from Graham Barton sometimes. But again, they're going up against Jonathan Allen and Darren Payne, two All-Pro, Pro Bowl players. It's not going to be a walk in the park. The big surprise to me was Tristan struggling with Oakland or Las Vegas Raiders flameout, Clelin Ferrell. He got the best of him on several snaps, including beating him for a sack on Baker Mayfield. And then Jamin Davis, the former number one linebacker who's been disgraced, really kind of drove him back into Bucky Irving and caused a loss of 4. So, offensive line, I think, has to play a little bit better. I think they'll continue to grow. It's the first time they really spent an extended time together in a competitive nature, obviously in practice. But I think both of those, I think there's room for them to grow, and they don't worry me too much. So those are my main takeaways on offense. Jalen McMillan almost had 2 touchdowns on the night. He had one he dropped, but then he made up for it later with a wide open, or as River said, wide ass open touchdown that kind of put the game away for the Bucs. So those are my observations on offense for sure.
Yeah, and then just quickly, I don't want to keep everybody on here too long. I know it's getting late for everybody, and they're trying to tune into Sunday Night Football.
Can't hear you, Caleb, or maybe it's me. I don't know. I might be the one. I look good on my end. I don't know if you can hear me. If I can hear you.
I can, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So maybe Caleb's
So, what do you
prepping.
think the biggest pressing need to go in for this next game is, of all the things we saw?
Yeah, so I think, Jared Goff doesn't bring the same ability that a guy like Jaden Daniels does. Obviously, I think I think we underestimated Jaden Daniels' speed in a pro level. Fastest guy I've seen since Michael Vick. He's extremely fast. So I don't think you need to worry about contain as much. But I do think making sure you're getting adequate pressure, quick pressure, and hopefully that's where Kalijah Cansey's back next week. But getting pressure is going to be paramount because I don't know how long some of these guys are going to be able to cover it when they go having to start bringing guys like Tyreek Funderburk. Maybe they toy with bringing Keenan Isaac back, free agent right now, but they're definitely going to need to get the pressure on to ease the job of the cornerbacks and not allow them to cover as much. So I think if I'm looking for anything next week, that's the biggest thing that I want to see is I want to see pressure, because you want to put these guys in a good situation. And right now, going into next week, you're looking at Jamel Dean and Tyreek Funderburk making his first career start potentially as an undrafted free agent. I like Tyreek's game, but it's still a big jump from where they were.
Early, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, less than an ideal situation to be in the defensive backfield there. Really tough break. Probably, perhaps the only really big downside of the night for the Buccaneers. Other than that, great opening night. Baker Mayfield looked good. The offense looked in rhythm. Very comfortable with one another. So with that, guys, we appreciate you guys sticking with us here at Bucs Game Day. Head over to YouTube, give us a like, subscribe to us so that you guys are caught up on all the up-to-date Buccaneers information for you guys. Head over to BucsGameday.com. Check out all of our articles from JC, River, myself, Cade,
Putting in a lot of
Colin,
hard work, yeah.
rest of us all over there at Bucs Game Day. Head over there, check out our stuff. We're going to be bringing you guys content left and right as the season continues to progress through. Next week, we're going to have the Detroit Lions. I'm not sure if we're going to have somebody, boots on ground. If not,
Colin will be boots on ground.
Wall-to-wall coverage for you guys, and we appreciate. Okay, we get Colin boots on ground there. So guys making his way, making his way down from Canada. So he's really a great time being on the ground for us there. As always, guys, tune in to hear the Cannons on Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern time. If you guys tuning in tonight, go Bucs.
Yeah, go Bucs.
Go Bucs, baby.